Alabama is a predominantly rural state. 61 out of 67 counties as of 2013 are healthcare provider shortage areas in Alabama. Over 50% of our people live in rural areas. Now, these rural areas have an absolute lack of health services. Telemedicine is a unique concept of utilizing the electronic services to provide healthcare in these rural areas. Now, it's not a new care, it is new model of care. We could use the high-speed internet and the Bluetooth equipment and have satellite clinics, which are electronic clinics or teleclinics in rural counties, so that the patients do not have to come all the way to the central locations to seek care. Good morning, Ms. Barbara. How are you doing?
I'm good, Dr. Bhat.
Well, how is work going?
Work is okay, a lot of long hours, but it's okay.
Wonderful. Is there any problems, concerns, complaints, anything like that today?
No, I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm kind of tired, but I think it's from the long hours at work.
Well, I'll make a note of that, Ms. Barbara. Everybody at home doing okay?
Fine, grandbaby's coming out this weekend.
Fantastic. How was Labor Day?
Wonderful. I stayed at home and rested on the couch.
Oh, did not barbecue, did we?
No, I don't cook outside.
Right. We at Medical Aids Outreach of Alabama, we provide care for people living with HIV. We not only take care of people's HIV, but we also provide primary care, viral hepatitis care, STI care, women's health, as well as trans health. The way this helps in bringing about restoring health of our patient is that we are providing services to geographically isolated individuals with the scarce expertise we have in the state, while providing the same quality of care to these individuals. Now, for example, a patient who is living in rural Alabama, which is 2 hours away from me or 3 hours away from me, does not have to come to our main clinic in either Montgomery or Dothan or our partner sites in Huntsville or Tuscaloosa, but can come to a rural satellite center and receive the same care, the good quality of care that is given in the main clinics. Ms. Barbara, I have some wonderful news. We did some blood tests last week. The numbers look fantastic. The virus is completely under control. We have our CD4, which is our strength, doing fantastic. Our liver is doing fantastic. Our kidneys are doing fantastic. Our bone marrow is working fantastic. Anemia level is wonderful. Very good cholesterol profile. Cholesterol is doing well. So from my side, I think you're doing very well. How do you feel, Ms. Barbara?
Well, I do have some questions or some concerns about my blood pressure medicine.
Absolutely.
I've been having more headaches. I'm still taking my medication like you prescribed it, but I'm having more of those headaches. So I'm wondering, is it the heat or what could it possibly be?
Ms. Barbara, let me ask you this question. Do you check your blood pressure at home?
No, because I can kind of tell when it's high, but no, I don't check it.
Okay. Today when we checked the blood pressure, it was slightly high, not to an extent that we should be worried today, but that needs to be a little better. We can easily take care of that. We can modify just a little bit of our food, cut down on salt a little bit, increase our grains and nuts consumption a little bit, cut down on red meat a little bit and such things. It should get back under control. And what I would also recommend some 30 minutes. If you could give me 30 minutes of walking a day, that would help this blood pressure a whole lot. Is it possible for you to check your blood pressure at home? Random? A few times a week?
No,
Okay.
I don't have anything to check it with.
All right. There are all the pharmacists in the locality around your place will have free blood pressure monitoring. If you could, that will help us both to get the blood pressure under control better, because one visit, one measuring at the doctor's office might not depict the real blood pressure, but we will have to keep it in mind. Tell me more about these headaches. We started telemedicine in 2011. The idea came to us in 2009 when our CEO thought about this as a wonderful adjunct based on telepsychiatry, that it could provide as an adjunct to our current level of care then. We planned extensively for over a year between 2009 and 2010, and fortunately we could get a grant through AIDS United. We were selected as one of the 10 grantees on a national level to implement this innovative model of care in rural Alabama. Since then, we've had extensive evaluations of this program. We have internal as well as external evaluations. We've done patient satisfaction surveys. We have done studies on retention. We've done studies on virologic suppression of HIV, and so on. I have to also say that since we started this program, this was supported by the Alabama Department of Public Health also. I'll give you an example. Our patient satisfaction survey said 95% of our patients were extremely satisfied with receiving care through telemedicine. This is in all of our telemedicine service areas. We did not have a single person who opted for an in-person service instead of telemedicine, definitely. We had some recommendations from the patients and we implemented that along the way. That's how we learn. There was a suggestion that we have to see the patients in person before we started the care for the new patient visit, and we implemented that. We had received some recommendations about how the audio equipment needs to be a little better, and we implemented that, and so on. 92% of our patients in telemedicine network have been retained in care. Our retention rate is a staggering 92%. That speaks for the success of telemedicine, I feel. Our virologic suppression rate, if they have been retained in care, is a staggering 88%. So people who have been linked to us in our telemedicine network and have been retained in care, which is also a high number, we have an 88% virologic suppression rate, which is less than 200 copies per cc. We will see the impact of this in a decade, because we know that when HIV is well controlled, a person cannot transmit it to other person. I think these speak for the success of telemedicine. We started off with one clinic, and currently we are expanding to, in our Alabama eHealth network in Alabama, which encompasses 2/3 of Alabama, 47 of 67 counties. We are planning on opening the 10th clinic this month. And I think this speaks for the success of telemedicine. This is an electronic stethoscope. We use Littmann 3M. It connects to the application in the computer through the Bluetooth dongle. It works on a AA battery. We just start this and connect to the application. If you want to look at this application, it's very simple. There is a unique identification number that the nurse gives us, which we will put in so that this patient counter will be, the stethoscope is connected to Ms. Ty's stethoscope on the other end. And then after this is just like any other regular stethoscope. We can listen to a remote patient's either heartbeats or lung sounds or valve sounds or any other sounds that we want to, like carotids or aortic sounds and such things, as clearly as the patient is sitting next to us. Teledermoscope is directly linked to the telemedicine card. When the patient comes in, if there is a mole or a lesion or a precancer or anything like that, we can evaluate it properly, and we can actually freeze frame that. We can take a picture of that lesion, attach to the patient's medical chart, and we can reevaluate it that 6-8 months later or a year later, so on and so forth. And we can compare those two images and see if there is any difference, and so on and so forth. This is an incredible tool, and this will also, we can modify that to become an ENT scope also. If you see now, it's been changed to show that the dermoscope is just lying on the table. Ms. Ty, can we go ahead and take a look at Ms. Barbara's mole on the neck? And we will be able to focus it just like we would focus a flashlight. And you will see how great it looks. It's a high definition picture. telemedicine has been a phenomenal success for HIV primary care in Alabama. In our clinic patients, every fourth patient is a telemedicine patient. 25% of our patients have utilized or are utilizing telemedicine services. Now, we do not only provide HIV care through telemedicine, we provide the primary care for these patients. Because of telemedicine, we could expand our clinical pharmacy services to these patients. We could provide behavioral health. There is also a very innovative idea that we started this year, which is telesocial care. So our social workers are taking care of people through telemedicine, which I don't think has happened anywhere in the planet. These say how important is telemedicine for people of Alabama. I'll tell you about some other projects that we have in our mind. We've soft launched our viral hepatitis center, so we're treating hepatitis C now. Our patients in rural counties who have hepatitis C, right now we're treating co-infected patients, seek wonderful care through telemedicine, which they could not have without the expertise in those geographic locations. Besides healthcare, telemedicine could be used, telehealth model could be used to increase health awareness, to increase HIV awareness, to increase our presence in that the people do not have to have that stigma in this part of the country. One of the major problems we face is the stigma associated with HIV. The other problem is the lack of transportation. We have absolutely no public transportation, and it's a vast state, so people will have to come from long distances, which could be very beneficial if we were to have telemedicine clinic, which is very close to the people. And the next thing is that we could run support groups through telemedicine. We could have groups of people who can talk to other groups of people who have HIV in different centers and form a support group. These are all some of the ideas that we have for the near future. Ms. Barbara, I think from my side you're doing fantastic, and the headaches you're having should get better once the blood pressure is better. Until then, we can take some Tylenol or something like that to get the headaches better. Now, if there is to be any problems, if the headache were to be too bad, if the vision were to get blurry, you said no to all these things earlier. If there were to be weakness on one side of the body, or if there is any lopsided smile or drooling and such things like that, you'll have to call me immediately and go to the emergency room quickly, because that could be something that is unwanted, like a stroke or something like that. Otherwise, we should be doing well. You got the results. This is just fantastic. I think I'll see you around Christmas time. Have a wonderful Halloween with your grandkids, and happy Thanksgiving. Now, do you have any questions for me, Ms. Barbara?
No, I'll just go to my local CVS down the street and get my blood pressure done a couple of times a week and keep taking my medication until I see you again. I'll call you back with you.
Just fantastic. If there is any question needed, you can always call Ms. Ty or me. She will act as my hands and ears and eyes. Thank you. Well, I'll see you next time. You have a wonderful, wonderful time. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Ms. Ty. Thank you very much. Where do I begin? We have hundreds of success stories like that. We have this extremely poor rural area people who would not have sought care for their HIV infection without this model. I'll give you just a couple examples. I have a wonderful, wonderful patient who is a woman in her 50s who was not diagnosed with HIV. When she was diagnosed, she was in advanced states with a PJP pneumonia, which is a pretty bad pneumonia that affects people with AIDS. And she had nowhere else to go. And we could link her up with telemedicine, and I could see her periodically, start treatment, provide support, reassure her, and offer consultations with our clinical pharmacists and behavioral health and social work and so on. She's doing just wonderful now. And that's just one like that. I have a patient who is a young man who was suffering with headaches for quite some time, but he unfortunately was not diagnosed with HIV. Those headaches were cryptococcal meningitis. Again, this young man did not have anywhere else to go for his HIV care, and he did not have any transportation also. In this situation, we could actually provide him transportation through collaboration with a local social work organization to come to a telemedicine center, and we could see him. We could treat his cryptococcal meningitis as well as HIV, and provide counseling and support and reassurance and so on. And he's doing just fantastic now. Like this, we have literally hundreds of success stories.